There we go. Hello, Internet.
Yay!
Hmm.
Mm. Actually, that works perfect.
All right. Let's do that. There we go. There. Hi, folks. Welcome to pre-show.
Yay!
Ugh.
Oh,
God. I'm just wiped out.
Why?
Work.
Hmm.
yeah.
More like worst. Because it's the worst.
Time to changey.
Yeah, it's tough trying to find positions that pay what I currently make.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know
and
the
I
feeling.
kind of need that amount to pay my bills, which is how I got that amount in the first place. So yeah. So, but yeah. No. Am I predicting a full sweep of Fire Emblem for Questlog?
Yeah.
Did you start playing it, Courtney?
Yes.
Oh, which
Yes.
house did you pick?
I
She picked
went
Blue Lions.
Lion.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
how
it. So
far
that
in are
way,
ya?
we would all have different playing experiences on our first playthrough.
Um. I haven't gotten too far. Just because I can't sit and play for too long at a single time. I've got about 6 hours in.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
So
save my questions for you, I guess, until we get to the
yeah.
I'm like
quest line.
55 hours in.
Yeah. You
I've
guys
got
see the thing
somewhere up
is like
around
you
80.
guys see the thing is like you guys can I just literally cannot focus
Yeah,
on
I can sit for like
something
3
like
hours and play
that.
that.
Yeah, I can't sit and focus for
Yeah.
super long, you know. So yeah. But
Bring it with me to the toilet. I bring it all over my house with me. It's the best. Best thing about the Switch, you can play on the toilet.
Oh, also, we have emotes.
It is the best thing about the
yay!
Switch.
We have emotes. So, yeah. Should we get started?
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. Depending on how much we talk about Fire Emblem, it might be a quick episode. It might be a long episode. We don't know.
I can talk about it a lot.
Me too. All right. Going live in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming up on episode 153, Tumblr gets sold for cheap. No Batman and Suicide Squad. Super Duper Graphics canceled. And much, much more on the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast, bringing you our favorite, latest, and greatest geeky news of the week. I'm your host, Sean Hayes, and with me are my wonderful co-hosts, as always, Courtney Bolin
Hey everybody.
and Josh York.
I've got nothing this week.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What? You feeling okay?
So Joshua,
Yeah.
who is unexpectedly back after his
Yes.
excursion.
I lasted 2 days.
You know what? That's
More than
two
I
more
could.
days than I would have lasted.
Yep.
Well, I know it was like, I tried to explain this to somebody, like, it was just like loneliness was the worst part of it.
Yep.
It was like a weird, because there weren't that many people on the trail. And then when I got to the camping area, I was just by myself with nothing to do
Yeah.
and
Aw.
nobody to talk to. Like, even if there was just somebody to talk to about how much the day sucked physically,
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
that would have been enough to be like, at least we did it together and it can suck again tomorrow. We could do it together tomorrow. But just like by yourself, you're just like, man,
Yeah.
it just sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I could never, even without the hiking part, I could not do camping by myself.
I
There's
mean,
just
and
there's
I also way overestimated how in shape I was. Like my little training hikes I was doing this summer leading up to it, I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. And then,
And you're by.
like, not even close.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so it goes.
I mean, hey, you did 2 days.
Yeah.
Eh.
Again, 2 days more than
That's
I could have done. You guys both know, with my luck, if Courtney tried to do that type of camping,
Courtney
yeah,
doesn't
no,
do camping.
I don't do that type of camping. I do the camping where we all go on the boat and we all go out to the island and drink for 3 days.
Like the sleeping in the tent, that wasn't a problem. That was fine.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
just
never an
like,
issue. It's
I couldn't move my neck because it was so sore from carrying the backpack all day. I could
oh,
hardly like walk without sharp pain in my knees.
oh honey.
Yeah.
Perpetually feeling like I was gonna throw up all day.
Oh honey.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just overestimated how ready I was.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know what that requires? A training montage. We need a montage.
Montage.
I thought I had it. I was running around with a 40-pound pack all summer, but apparently, I mean, obviously the trails I was training on were not as difficult or strenuous as what I actually did. But now
Yeah.
I know.
Now, were you doing? Was it particularly steep trails?
Steep, very rocky.
Okay.
Particularly like the coming down.
Yeah.
On one of the mountains I went over was like almost straight. I mean, might as well have been straight up and down. You were just like scrambling down rocks. It wasn't walking down a trail coming down. You were like
Oof.
carefully taking steps down like between 3 feet of like rock ledges. And then it was just like rocky that whole part of the trail, so like it tore up my feet and they were still all blistered and everything.
Ugh.
It's just like, and like I said, the trail I was practicing on, even though I was doing an hour hike maybe every other day with a pretty heavy pack just to get used
Yeah.
to it, but it
Mhm.
wasn't rocky. It was well worn. There wasn't a lot of steep up and downs, so it just didn't mimic what it was actually going to be like. And I
Yeah.
didn't realize that part of the trail was going to be like that. I thought it was going to be more like parts I had done in the northern part of the county.
Yeah. Well, it's like you figure the whole point of a trail is to wear something down so that it's easier to pass through. Not, oh, hey, here's this, set of rocky ledges. We're gonna say this trail goes up and down them. It's like, well, no, you
And,
might as well just climb the frickin' mountain.
I gotta bless this woman who drove me into town after I got off the trail. So
Aw.
I hiked down again. It's incredibly steep, basically a trail that goes next to a waterfall
Mhm.
to get off the trail. And again, it was almost like a straight up and down for part of it to scramble down rocks. I get off the trail and I'm like, I'm gonna call an Uber to bring me back to Cheshire to get my car, which I left at my parents' house. I didn't
Mhm.
have any internet where I was. Like, I can't do that.
Oh no.
Friend.
It was like people were at work and stuff. Well, maybe not you, but
Not me.
it was whatever. I was like, this is
Yeah.
a part of it was like, this is my failure, so I'm doing it myself and I'm getting myself out of here, however I do it. So I'm like walking down like, I'll just start walking to town. So I'm trying to walk to Great Barrington, and I'm just walking up Route 41, and it's like blazing sun on me.
Oh no.
I'm looking at little mile markers, and I'm like, okay. And I walk for a while. I'm like, oh, I only gone a mile.
Oh
It's
no!
gonna take me forever to get to
Oh
Great Barrington.
jeez.
So I'm walking, and this old woman pulls up. She's like, "Do you need a ride?" I was like,
Oh.
"Where are you going?" I'm like, "Are you going to Great Barrington?" She's like, "Most of the way." I'm like, "Fine, just yeah." So I threw my pack in. She drove me basically all the way to town, where I was able to
Yeah.
catch the B bus and B bus it all the way back to Cheshire.
There you
I was
go.
gonna say, I mean, like, you could have subbed instead of hiking the Appalachian Trail, just trying to take the B bus from one end of the county to the
I
other.
mean, that was part of that day was walking a good
Yeah.
ways across South County just along the road once I got the trail, and
Yeah.
then like B busing and walking to different stops.
Yeah.
But yeah, Josh, like you could have called me.
I just
I would have come and picked your butt up.
it was my burden to bear.
Yeah, I understand that. Just because you decide to be, an idiot and bullheaded doesn't mean that I wouldn't help you.
I got home; it was fine,
And
Thanks
it
to
and
a
all
the
wonderful
B
little
worked
bus
out.
lady.
cost me like less than $5 to go
Yeah.
all the way across the county.
Thanks to a wonderful little old lady.
There we go.
Yeah, that actually was the part that saved my butt, was her giving me the ride, because that walk to Great Barrington would have taken me
Yep.
Mhm.
probably a couple hours.
Ooh.
Mhm.
So yeah,
But yeah,
Yeah. So, as far as
what
in
have you been praying for?
big news this week, um, probably the biggest, um, Yahoo, uh, or parent company Verizon has decided to sell Tumblr to Automattic, which is the parent company for WordPress.
Yeah, I saw that.
So so they
What?
so they purchased. So Verizon originally, or Yahoo, I believe, was the company that made the business decision. Purchased
Mhm.
Tumblr for, I think it was something like $1 billion. And rumor on the street has it that they sold it for $3 million.
sick business move.
Yeah, there is in fact some kind of tuna that was sold on auction in Japan that sold for more money.
Hmm.
It was some like bluefin tuna that sold for like $3.3 million. So sold
Yeah.
more than Tumblr did.
I bet there are some melons that have actually been sold in Japan that are worth more than Tumblr sold for,
Yeah,
or that have
but
sold for more than Tumblr sold for.
yeah, it's kind of an example of it makes me wonder if we're, with all the problems with Facebook, problems with Twitter and stuff like that, where namely how Twitter doesn't actually pull a profit at all. I don't think it ever
Yeah.
has. If maybe at some point within the next decade we're gonna see a social media bubble burst, kind of thing, sort of like the .com burst
Yeah.
uh, in the 90s. If
Yeah.
eventually we're gonna see a social media burst.
We're gonna hit a general recession here soon. So yeah, everything's gonna burst.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna hit a wall.
yeah. Um, Automatic did make a statement that there are currently no plans to restore, we'll say, the
Adult
previous
content.
function. Okay, all right. I was gonna try and avoid saying it, Courtney, but yes, if they were going to restore the adult content to Tumblr, not at this time. We'll see if if enough money is coming in to make them reverse that decision, or enough money not coming in to reverse that decision.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
No, I know that they took a big hit when that happened.
oh yeah,
So
I mean it's also
they
Yahoo, king of bad business decisions since like
forever.
back in the mid 90s of not buying Google, like, and it's just been all downhill from there.
I still use a Google or a Yahoo email just because I had it forever and I don't feel like making a new email.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
So
But
in other news, the
yeah.
Super Duper Graphics pack that was supposed to come out for Minecraft, that's been in development for the past 2 years and has been delayed the entire time, it canceled. Just outright
Just straight
canceled.
up canceled.
Mojang cited having to develop it for so many different platforms and they just couldn't get it to work, and so they just decided to scrap it entirely. Rather than saying this will come out for like PC and Xbox One X, and just those and like PS4 and just those platforms, they're using the argument that because of mobile and the Switch and the previous Xbox One iterations and the 360 and everything, they can't make it work. So,
I mean, I think if they just focused on current, and just start with PC and Xbox.
yeah. What's
Like,
funny,
because that's really easy because they're under the same stuff. But
well, I
I
mean,
understand programming is a little different for each of those, but
Mojang is essentially a second-party developer for Microsoft.
yeah.
So
you make that an exclusive to start.
it makes me weird that like they wouldn't even just make it an exclusive kind of a thing to get people to go to PC and Xbox. But
how about just make Minecraft 2?
I mean, there's that as well. The funny thing is for PC is that there are mods that basically do the same thing that they were doing with this pack.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's tons of mods.
So, we'll see if maybe down the line they look at those mods and say, "Oh, okay, we'll just bake this right in instead of it being a mod."
Yeah.
But yeah. And then last up in our news, so it wasn't really an interview so much as just like a back and forth with James Gunn, who is directing the Suicide Squad. Maybe not a reboot according to him, but according to the producer, definitely a reboot. And definitely not a sequel.
That came out 2 years ago.
No, it came out when I was in London, or right before I went to London.
So 3 years ago?
So maybe like 3 years ago.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But still, that's not helping the case, Courtney.
Yeah, still.
No,
rebooting a movie that's not even 5 years old.
Yeah. Also complicating the fact that it will have some of the original cast returning to play the same characters.
DC movies, you suck.
I thought that they were going to be doing like Girls of DC, so like including like Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, like having that kind of spin-off. Like I remember
this
there
is
being talks
not that.
about that. But like I don't know how I feel about this
because
Idris Elba feel bad because every DC movie sucks.
No, see, I grew up as a DC kid. I was a DC kid.
DC just sucks in general. I never liked DC.
You
so boring.
This is a family-ish friendly show.
So they will have Idris Elba replacing Will Smith as Deadshot.
Okay, I can get behind that.
But like Margot Robbie's returning as Harley Quinn.
Nice. Jared Leto.
Oh, the best Joker?
No.
He's a Joker.
As far as I know, I don't know if Joker's returning.
Okay.
Just have Mark Hamill be Joker.
Oh, there is a thing that they're doing with that. Where it's Kevin Conroy. I think it's for TV. It's Kevin Conroy's playing Batman, and Mark Hamill's playing Joker. I can't remember for which show, but it's one in which it's set in the future. So like they're just basically playing themselves.
As it should be, though.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill is Joker.
That one's great. And actually, I might tune in just to catch that episode. I can't remember if it's, like was it Legends of Tomorrow or something? Because they do time travel in that show, right? Something like that.
I don't know.
I think so.
It might be that show. Hang on. Let's just look this up real quick. Conroy playing.
So yeah, DC's just bad.
No.
I wasn't. Their TV.
I didn't even like the Batman cartoon in the 90s. I remember not liking it, and that's like the one everyone loves.
Yeah, well, you're weird with what you like and don't like. So
yeah, true. That is very true, actually.
Like, to be fair,
I'm very particular and peculiar, and I'm hypocritical sometimes about stuff I do and don't like. Oh yeah, big time.
Just a little.
Okay,
everyone's
so
allowed to do that.
It might be on Arrow, or I don't know if it's a special or if it's a series. Crisis on Infinite Earths. Oh no, it's Crisis on Infinite Earths is the series, I guess.
Oh, okay.
They also have Brandon Routh, who is reprising his role as the 2006 Superman
God. Oh my God.
to play Superman. But Kevin Conroy's playing Bruce Wayne. Mark Hamill's going to play the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Brendan Routh was a big gamer, right? Or is a big gamer? He's a World of Warcraft guy, I think. So was Henry Cavill.
Yes. Yeah, I know Cavill. I think he was playing World of Warcraft when they gave him the news about
I
Superman.
saw that interview.
Yeah.
He missed the first call because he was like in the middle of a dungeon or something.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then,
Well,
of course,
that's why he wanted to do Witcher, because he's a legitimate fan of the Witcher series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll actually be interested to see how that turns out, because I think he might do a good job as Geralt.
I think if you're into it, there's a better chance you're like
gonna do a good job.
I think he, as far as like physically looking like Superman, he's the most Superman looking Superman in any of the movies, as far as I'm concerned. The way they portray Superman in those movies is another question, but that's not all on him. That's like direction.
Yeah, physical versus like
he looks like
acting.
Superman. When I think of Superman, I think basically of Henry Cavill. He's just such a damn handsome guy. Life's not fair.
So,
but yeah, I absolutely agree though. Henry Cavill, 100%, 100% my Superman.
Yeah,
I'll watch The Witcher though, because I'm kind of interested, and I actually don't know that much about Witcher because I haven't played much of the games nor read any of the books. And the show's going to be based off. That's what it all started as. Before it was games, it was books, and that's what the show's going to be based off. Books, not any of the game stuff.
Cool. I didn't know that.
I know that you can use magic via rune stones, because in Monster Hunter, Geralt gives you a rune stone so that you can use magic too before he leaves, so that you can fight Leshen. That's what I know. But to bring it back to the initial news story, so according to James Gunn, Batman is likely not to appear in this film. And apparently they've also recast Batman as well, so no more Batfleck.
Twilight guy.
Yeah.
Edward. Yeah. No.
It's not fair to say that because he's done a lot of other really good films.
Of good things.
Like he's actually legitimately a really good actor.
Yeah.
He just was happened to be in Twilight, and that's
he's a good actor that got stuck with bad script.
He makes fun of it all the time too. At least he has a sense of humor about it. He's like, yeah, it sucks.
The commentary.
It's like it's so dumb.
The commentary for him, like in the Twilight videos, like if you watch it with the commentary,
I've never watched Twilight, so I have no idea.
Yep.
I've seen some clips of it, and it's absolutely hilarious because he's.
So I'll say he's got that in common with Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, and Natalie Portman. Then.
All we want is an Obi-Wan movie with Ewan McGregor. That's all we want.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
I'd be happy with that.
It'd be the best.
The problem is that because of like the events that take place or whatever, is like it would just be him hanging out on Tatooine. Probably.
Well, it depends. Depends on. I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
I would actually. Here's what might be interesting is he is hiding out on Tatooine, but like he still has to go into town to like, get supplies and stuff like that. But he's got to hide the fact that
on Rebels, him and Darth Maul fight on Tatooine when he's an old man to protect Luke.
Oh, okay.
Spoilers for Rebels if you haven't seen.
How old?
A few years at this point.
Yeah.
Since that show's been done. It's actually really good. I always recommend Rebels. It got really good. And that's one of the best scenes with Obi-Wan and Darth Maul because sorry, I'm going to go off a little bit here. There's like even in what was the show before that? Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, yeah.
When they brought Darth Maul back, his whole deal was just like, I want to kill Obi-Wan because he cut me in half and left me to die.
Yeah.
And like his whole thing is like just doing stuff to mess with Obi-Wan, and like it ends with him like, why are you on Tatooine, Obi-Wan? Why would you just be on this crappy planet? And he's like, "Oh, you must be protecting something." That's when Obi-Wan's like, "Oh, I gotta take care of you now," and they have a cool little duel.
See, if I was Obi-Wan, I'd just be like, because nobody comes here, so nobody's gonna come look for me here. Except you, apparently.
I'm hiding from my responsibilities. Leave me alone.
Not Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's too dutiful and honorable.
Yeah.
True. But
But I
that's
think it
like,
might be...
He is like the purest Jedi.
Yeah.
At least probably between and Yoda, I guess too. Like who
Yeah.
hold true to like the Jedi.
Is Yoda
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel
Could
like
be argued that since Obi-Wan didn't show up in Episode 8, that perhaps more pure.
True.
Yoda willing to do what is necessary to make the Jedi continue in some fashion
or end.
or end. Yeah, unclear. Instructions unclear. Everything's on fire.
Yeah.
And Yoda laughing maniacally. Oh, it's great. That was a great scene.
It was.
But anyway. But yeah. So, yeah, probably no Batman, since they're saving him for the new Batman film.
Are they gonna do like the Batman Beyond Batman with him?
I don't know. I think that might be an interesting
not
idea.
Like Batman Beyond was like the Batman was like slimmer and younger and wasn't like big buff Batman. Whereas this, what's his name? Patterson was his last name?
Yeah.
I think so.
Pattinson.
He's not like a big, he's like a pretty slim guy.
Yeah.
So like,
I think if
He's a
DC
trim guy.
if DC and Warner Brothers wanted to do something right with having
Batman
another Batman film, is do Batman Beyond, star this guy, and then have Kevin Conroy be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
There you go. Then that will print money. Yeah.
Yep. I would say this of DC movies, the Batman ones are all right.
Yeah.
Which one? I mean, I
Except
never saw the third one.
For Batman and Robin.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the 90s. Those are all crap.
Oh, original Batman was so great. Yes, with Michael Keaton.
Who's the guy? Yeah, Michael Keaton. He's not Batman. As far as he does not.
He makes a great Bruce Wayne though.
Maybe, but he just doesn't strike me.
And it's got Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
That's fine. And
that one?
Danny DeVito as Penguin. Yes, that was like one of the
Yes!
first movies I saw in theaters when I was a kid. Maybe why I'm so weird now, because that movie's pretty dark.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like Land Before Time and that were like some of the first movies I ever saw in theaters.
Oof.
But I'm talking about the like the more recent trilogy, like Dark Knight and
Batman versus Superman.
Nope, that's when it. The one, what's the one with the Scarecrow? And Batman's like a ninja.
Batman Begins.
Yeah, that one was meh. It was okay. But the one with Heath Ledger, I liked quite a bit. And then I never saw the one with Braid. I never saw that one.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I just wonder.
Any of the other DC movies.
I feel like Batman just would work better as a TV
No.
series.
Dumb. I hate Aquaman. Even Jason Momoa can't make it cool to me.
You take that back.
No. Aquaman is still lame.
No, he's not. He's a Mainer, man.
If I wanted to watch Jason Momoa run around Atlantis, I would watch Stargate.
I mean, that's fair, but
Courtney's camera froze, and it's a
Khal
great
Drogo.
image.
He's Khal Drogo. That's it.
no.
Nope.
Why is my computer being silly?
I don't know. But
I don't know.
But yeah, that is pretty much going to wrap up the news for this week. There wasn't really a lot of intriguing, interesting stuff. Aside from the
Did
article
you
I was
talk?
talking about in the pre-show.
When did Ninja move from Twitch to Mixer? Did it happen
Oh,
last week or this week?
I
That's kind of like
yeah,
big
it is big.
news in
We'll
like the
try
gaming
and
world.
we'll try and keep it as family friendly as we can get. But so basically, Twitch is in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, what happened? I don't even know
So
about that.
as we know, so Ninja, formerly biggest Twitch star,
Yeah,
Fortnite guy, and
yeah.
everything. Basically, Mixer gave him a boatload of money to
Mm-hmm.
then move exclusively to their platform. So he did, because that's that's a smart business move, I think. Um, but what happened was Twitch didn't immediately close his channel when he did that, and I guess he's been trying to get it shut down. So he's been on Mixer for probably a week or week and a half or so,
Mm-hmm.
streaming there. And what Twitch was doing was essentially using his channel as like a recommended channel. So like it
Okay.
would recommend other presumably like Fortnite channels, and it was just the most popular ones would rise to the top and get shown on his channel when
Okay.
he had no say in it, kind of a thing. Well, a video came out where he made a statement saying that he was very unhappy when he found out that apparently the top channel that made it up there, it turns out, was actually streaming pornography.
Sick.
Yeah, on so
Oh
what
my
happened on his
gosh.
channel, and it was
Oh.
Twitch has banned that account for flagrantly violating the terms of service.
The account
But
that was originally streaming the inappropriate content.
yes,
Okay.
but the issue was that it was Twitch handling the automatic recommending, uh,
Yeah.
and because for probably obvious reasons, that one probably due to notoriety was rising in popularity of viewers and everything, ended
Yeah.
up getting bumped up to the top, and that's what would show if you went to Ninja's channel. Um, and so uh, he was rightfully very upset because that is,
Absolutely.
if people didn't know that he was no longer streaming on Twitch and thought that this was that would be very damaging to his brand.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, yeah.
so I guess the Twitch CEO came out and made like personal apology and everything or whatever, but it's like, I mean that could be grounds for legal action, you know.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to Megan about it. I was like, oh, what's that phrase that Josh says? Big oof.
Yeah, big oof.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
bit of a big oof.
yeah, 100% there.
Wow.
So,
That
uh,
is
so yeah,
wow.
and that was the thing. Like, it's not a case of, so like for example, with this channel is in
Yeah.
order for us to do Tales of Jemmora and everything is we have to essentially let Pittsfield Community Television, also kind of have access to the Twitch channel so that way we can stream from the studio. So occasionally
Yeah.
there have been some hiccups, kind of thing where somebody wasn't paying attention and set the channel live, and suddenly my channel is now streaming the Halloween parade and stuff like that. Uh,
But at the
but
same time, thankfully
it's
it's PCTV stuff, so it's
well,
all,
it's also something where if I found it, because of how that relationship works, I could then like change the stream key and cut them out. This
Mhm.
was Twitch recommending stuff to the channel itself, which makes it a little more difficult. And I guess he's been
Mhm.
trying to get the channel shut down even before that. So it's also that come to find out that Twitch was using his channel, his brand, to promote other streamers, which already got him upset.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, just
and then come to find out of the content that the most popular one was promoting. Yeah. So
so I mean, cuz
it's
that's
just
I
like,
love it.
how does this
I love
happen?
when stuff like this happens. It's the best.
How
that
does
something
it
that you
happen?
totally shouldn't be able to like stream on Twitch.
Well,
Like,
no, but it's largely reliant on people reporting it. And
oh, okay.
then
I'm like, how is there not some sort of algorithm? But that makes
a certain amount of
perfect so
time,
many.
and then presumably when enough reports come in, kind of a thing. Um, so yeah, I just think it funny that something like that perpetuated, but
Yeah, I didn't even
a
realize
a
that
channel I
happened.
know
Mhm.
of
I was just gonna be like, hey, oh wow, it's like now there's competition in streaming, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Controversy in the land of streaming.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And it's
Controversy.
not a controversy from something that somebody like posted. It was more for the
It's not Dr.
algorithm.
Disrespect posting a picture from the bathroom.
Well, I mean, if we want to get into that, there has been a third member of Yogg's cast who has stepped down, basically, amid
Who?
more. Is it Jin? Whatever, SJIN. I don't know. I don't really know. But yes. So also not a good time for remaining Yogg's cast members. Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of oofs.
Lots of oofs.
You gotta get
In
that,
short,
Roblox death sound on a button.
yeah.
I had it in
In
my
short,
classroom.
you know,
Whenever someone messed up. Oof.
don't yeah, if you're a streamer or a content creator, don't be gross. And don't abuse your position.
Human people are always gonna be gross.
Yeah.
Well, humans are gross.
Doesn't make it right. I'm just saying it.
Yeah. But at the very least, putting the message out there. Don't do it. Just stop. Okay?
Yeah.
Just stop. So.
Just stop it.
Just stop it. And yeah, just to voice support for all of the victims of that whole situation between the three of those folks.
Yeah.
Cause yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And we didn't really talk about it, but especially the situation with Mark Turpin, since I did meet Terpster at Nerdtacular, and yeah, so that one not sitting too well with me. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I still have to find out what to do with his autograph, since it's on a group thing, so there's like everybody
that's
else's
right.
autographs too. So I don't know if I just like scratch that one out or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Yeah.
to move off of that kind of heavy end to what Josh thought was just going to be like, oh hey.
Yeah, hey, whoa, there's
Yeah.
another streaming service I didn't even know about until
Yeah.
this happened.
Yep.
That I still don't
So-
watch because I don't care about Ninja or Fortnite.
Yeah, it's I mean,
I'm not 12, so I mean,
yeah. I will say I actually haven't played Fortnite at all since
Since that little
probably
spree.
like a month after I started playing it, and then just dropped off because other games came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got it on PC and was like, I'm not good enough to play on PC. Tried it a couple times and I was like, oh man, ugh, I can't do this. Gotta go back to playing on Switch, where everybody's terrible.
hey, that did that Rocco's Modern Life movie come out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, it did.
I see
That's
reviews
right.
for it, but I didn't know if it was out.
Yeah.
It is
I
out.
will say Netflix has been a little misleading with its marketing for it, because they're saying that it's back, it's a reboot, and they make it seem like that there's a new series coming out for it,
Mhm.
and it's like, no,
45-minute video.
no, it's the movie that we knew about years ago is finally come out. So it's like,
It's
Netflix.
45-minute video.
Which is what, 3 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of 3 episodes, maybe 4, depending on how many commercials you've got in there.
Correct.
Yeah.
But
So.
The reviews I saw were good. I just looked at number scores. I didn't read anything about it because I may watch it at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm angry. I wanted more.
Oh.
No, I just wanted more. Like, I wanted them to get the original Rocco's and put that on, and give us some. But like, if they've been working on that movie, like, give us the original too. Like, let us redo that.
There's only so much you can do. You don't know how big their team was, and
Yeah.
No,
Well, and how
but
much
I
funding
mean-
there was.
Animation's not easy. It's
No,
very
I'm saying though,
time-consuming.
but the original series has already. I'm talking about like getting the rights for the original series
Yeah, but there
and
might
putting
not
it
be.
on.
There's not that big of a demand for it. I'm sure. It's a niche.
Yeah.
It's a nostalgia thing. It's '90s kids.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of '90s reboots and
For sure.
'90s
But
other
again,
stuff coming
even within
in.
that, it was still a niche back then. I think because it's a
Yeah.
Kind of,
pretty
yeah.
it's a pretty bizarre show.
It's a thing where it had very subversive social commentary. And what's funny is to see like a lot of the comments and stuff about the movie coming out, like, oh yeah, you know, Rocco was so totally not against PC culture and everything, and it's like, you might want to rethink that kind of a thing, because
Yeah.
Rocco was a lot of like anti-corporatism, and stuff like that, very very subversive, um, but yeah, a lot of it definitely like it appealed to kids, but like a lot of the really great humor,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you would need to be
Was
a
more
bit older
adult stuff.
to get. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's what makes it great. You know, kind of the same thing with like a lot of
Disney movies,
like, well, Looney Tunes
Pixar movies.
and Pixar films. Um,
hmm
I don't know, maybe not so much with Pixar these days, but
But like there was definitely some shows that my mom just would not let me watch. Like Pinky and the Brain and Looney Tunes. Well, not Looney Tunes. What's the one?
Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah, my mom wouldn't let me watch Pinky and the Brain.
What?
Was
Sh-
they weren't their own show, were they? They were part of
They were part of
It-
Animaniacs.
Animaniacs.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what's the one with the yeah, they
That
wouldn't
that one
No.
also subversive. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
both
I think it
both
might have been, like,
Animaniacs
my
and
mom's stuff.
Rocco played the game of what can we get past the censors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my mom like might have seen an episode and been like, "No, you can't watch that." Which, to be fair, going back and watching some of it now, yeah, no, I would let, kid me watch that either. But yeah.
Um, but at least Animaniac counterbalanced it with educational material.
For sure.
Like
Yeah,
the
that's where they
Nations
took
of the
the-
World,
There you
which
go.
is so
been
totally
updated.
not accurate anymore.
No, they actually did somebody, the original voice actor actually did an updated song of it. Just a couple years ago. It
Yeah.
was going around Facebook and the internet for a little while. So
Well,
I
but
remember
the thing
that.
is, like, if it's more than a couple years old, probably still now wildly inaccurate, given how geopolitical stuff changes in certain regions of the world quickly enough.
It'll be close enough.
I was gonna say it's not. There hasn't been like insane country name changes in the last few years.
Maybe there's a lot of countries. I don't know. I don't keep track of them all.
There's still a little over 200.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but
Do you
nothing
know?
has.
Do you know all of them?
No, I don't. But my aunt's been to all but 2.
So,
But no, there just hasn't been.
I don't even know what's
that
happening in
type
my
of-
own town. Nor do I care.
Okay.
I know what's happening in mine, which is taxes aren't getting paid.
Hey,
That's basically it,
that's a story every other week.
pretty much, and the same
But
place too.
anyway.
So,
But anyway.
why don't we talk about what's going on? Speaking of what's happening,
Yeah.
what's happening in 8-Bit Adventures? This is exciting because
I didn't know that's what that sounds. I never knew what that.
So little behind the
sounded
scenes
like.
stuff. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
so I finally downloaded a software based mixer program. So previously, up until this point, Courtney and Josh could not hear any of the bumpers or any music or anything that was coming out of my computer. That they just
Well, I knew
were
what they
polite and
were.
didn't talk over it, kind of a thing. but now they can. So now they actually get to hear like what the bumpers are for the intro music, and then This Week in 8-Bit Adventures. I mean, you guys are gonna love Questlog. That'll be great.
I like quest logs because remember, Sean, I'd been there a couple times when we were doing.
That's right. You
It's
have been
the
in studio
So
before.
I've been in
it's
studio.
it's the Zordo sound, right?
Yeah.
I've heard it before somehow.
Sort of. Yeah, there's elements
Okay.
of that.
No, but yeah, I've been in studio, but it's been a while since.
Yeah.
It's been a little but so.
Yeah.
So that's.
So yeah.
But it's
So
nice
new
to
exciting
be able
stuff.
to have it.
This does mean that for Tales of Jemmora, there's going to be a special online one-shot next week, which means that the players will be able to hear all of the sound effects and music that happens.
Which means Courtney might actually be able to hear the music.
Yes, Courtney is notoriously incapable of hearing the music and background effects in the studio when we record normally. So, speaking of which, Tales of Jemmora latest episode is finally up on YouTube. It's also out on podcast format. That was a fun, weird episode, which is probably standard at this point.
Yeah, it was standard for us now, but it was definitely continuing on our weird.
Yeah, this is just turning this really is turning into just like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure type game.
Yeah,
I will say though, it all kind of started with that plot coin. For the orbs.
Yeah. Originally, they were supposed to just be like, oh yeah, it's just an orb that you fit it into a bunch of slots and they unlock something. They weren't supposed to be magic items. So, yep.
I imagine they're probably a big headache for the DM.
What, to make them all magic items and everything?
No, just to have them in the game now.
Yeah.
Nah.
I could see myself getting very frustrated trying to manage all that in game.
See, now it's providing me endless possibilities for what sort of plot threads we can do. As was evidenced by this last episode, where I was just like,
now
I've got a bunch of things at the...
now everyone's just doing whatever, and I can't stand that. As a DM.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going too far off the rails.
That is most certainly not Josh's playstyle.
I don't mind a little bit of off-track stuff, but now it's just like... It was funny for me to watch Twixen do what he did for like 45 minutes of game time, whatever it took. It was funny, but like if I was DM, I'm like, oh my god, this is not at all in the cards of what I had planned. At least for me.
Yeah. It's definitely turning into something interesting.
Drews was just asking in the chat, which arc of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Jemmora just like?
Stardust Crusaders.
It was basically halfway between JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Stardust Crusaders. Because the first season is like when it hasn't really ratcheted up yet. It was still weird.
Yeah.
But like it was still kind of like Castlevania. And then we've got basically the absurdity of Stardust Crusaders. At 100%, Jacobin would just be Jotaro with Norn as his stand. Yeah. Whereas substituting just a plethora of attacks with the ability to make ranged attacks.
Star Platinum Zawado.
Yeah.
Diamond is unbreakable. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. We might have mentioned this on the last time Jemmora came up on the podcast, but to put it this way, we have JoJo memes circulating in our Facebook group that we use for the show, basically, you thought it was your friend Twixen, but it was me, Dio, is pretty much top of the line right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Because so I had a whole bunch of stuff.
We could always just do Joseph going, oh my god.
Yes, I mean that's
Anytime.
me. That is me.
Yeah.
Every session.
Oh no!
That's also me every session. So,
Yeah. This
uh,
is.
yeah, this I was expecting that perhaps this would have been kind of like a wrap up, that you guys would have figured out something to do with the orbs, either to get rid of them or break the curse somehow, or go back to the castle, kind of a thing. Maybe find the other ones or something. But yeah, it seems like Sean is really leaning into
Sean's
the
going
curse.
for it. Sean is.
Which, I mean,
Wow,
on the
Sean
one
is going
hand,
for
like,
it.
yes, it causes problems for the party, but like, I'm
On
glad
the
that
other
Sean
hand,
is, because that the flaws of that curse are kind of heavily role playing dependent. So I think it's great that he is doing that.
yeah,
Whereas the
it's
other
really
ones are kind
creepy
of,
to sit at the table next to him
well,
during
yeah, and
all of this.
have him doing vampire hissing the entire time.
Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, Josh is sitting at the table with the roving shrub and silent healer man.
Yeah.
God, you guys really are a JoJo party. So, yeah. Will the party recover from their curses? I guess we'll find out
No, probably
potentially
not.
in September, because
Yeah.
that will be when the next one is. Maybe. I'd have to check the schedule, because that's also rapidly approaching wedding time. So, who knows? But next time is going to be a small group that are members of Leaf Dancer, an adventurers guild. Their particular chapter is going to be based in the Asparian fishing village of Dusky Shores.
Yeah.
And there's some spooky goings on that need to be investigated. So,
Whoopee.
yes.
Yeah.
Courtney, would you like to give listeners a little taste of the character you're going to be playing?
Yeah. I am going to be playing Sister Monica Joan. She is a Tabaxi cleric. For a visual reference, think of the cat nurses in Doctor Who. Um, Only not as evil. Um,
Or
and
maybe.
no, no, she's not as evil. Um, and so she is actually a missionary to the area in a anthropologist kind of spread the word and study the cultures type of manner, who is finding herself caught up in certain adventures that she does. She says, okay, we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna take notes and get like, yeah, she's just curious but also a little forgetful. um
Oh,
so yeah,
beware,
kind of.
Courtney, for curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah,
Ho
but
ho ho!
satisfaction brought it back. Oh, because that is the actual second half of that statement.
Hmm.
Never heard it. Only the first half counts.
Yeah, no comment.
We'll see. As the healer, that will be interesting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So I'm
but yeah, so that
I'm excited.
will take place in place of the regularly scheduled episode, as the studio is not available. So, as far as comic this
Yeah.
week, I did a Fire Emblem comic.
Yeah.
Kind of playing off of some
And
of the
Legends
jokes.
of the Hidden Temple.
A little bit. Yep. It was inspired by the conversations that Josh and I were having when we were first talking about Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it actually really worked out well for so basically Melody, thinking that she would get along with the Black Eagles simply because Dorothea's a member of that house, and they're both
Mm-hmm.
performers. Cornflakes,
Yeah.
gnome from Azeroth, member of the Alliance and everything. Blue Lion seems like it would just totally be the Alliance.
Ooh, we'll see. Maybe.
Hmm.
Well,
I
you
wanna.
have to. You
I don't
have to
know. I just got to a part of the
choose.
story where Dimitri's getting pretty dark.
But the thing is, like, you have to choose that before you like learn more about anything.
Well, and yet
So
you said before, Josh, that he reminded you of Arthas, one of the greatest heroes and then villains of the Alliance.
True.
So,
yeah,
and then Iggy's just Iggy. So
Hickey doesn't care.
his response also would be typical of the Golden Deer.
Yeah, I could
'Cause,
actually see
yeah.
that. Yep.
So yeah, as far as streams this week, the art stream this week was doing a logo commission for Driz in the chat for his brewery, Grinning Manticore. So be sure to catch that. That VOD is now up on YouTube. I think it came out pretty well. I'm certainly pleased with the work that I did. And as far as game night, it's just Fire Emblem. And we'll get into that with Questlog, because if you've been paying attention the past 2 podcast episodes, that's just everything that's been happening lately.
Yes.
So yeah. Oh, also big news is our emotes for the channel have been accepted. Woo! Emotes in the chat. So basically everybody that is like a tier 1 subscriber, which you can get either by subscribing with monies or subscribing with Twitch Prime, you get a little Monty emote. And then tier 2 is you get a Torterra Speedy emote. And then tier 3, for those of you that feel the need to do that, which is weird, is an 8-Bit Adventures logo emote. Yeah, don't do that. there are better avenues for supporting the shows than doing a tier 3 subscription, which is like $25 a month or some ridiculous thing. Yeah, it's
Put it on through Patreon.
Yeah. So so yeah, that's kind of everything that's been going on with 8-Bit Adventures. Monty Comic did go up. Speedy and Monty Comic did go up this week for patrons. So we got that. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
So then, let us discuss basically Fire Emblem in Questlog. So yeah, just Fire Emblem. That's what I've been playing.
That's what we've all been playing.
It's when I'm not playing Fire Emblem, I'm working on things, and then going back to Fire Emblem. I have stopped playing last night and tonight, maybe tonight, because I'm at a spot where there will be battles for the stream on Thursday, because I'm pretty sure people don't want to watch me run around the monastery and talk to people.
I disagree. That's maybe the best part of the game.
But
okay,
like that's
because at this point, I have most people at S rank.
Oh,
already.
Wow.
I've given a lot of gifts, and I've done a lot of tea parties, and I did a lot of meals.
Some of them I thought you couldn't get until after the time skip.
I am after the time skip.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how far you were.
Yeah, I did go past the time skip. And I still have to say, I still can't choose between Dorothea and Manuela.
You still can't choose?
I can't do it.
Dorothea.
I can't pick.
Manuela's way too thirsty.
I actually agree with him.
Dorothea's a much sweeter girl.
I actually
in my
agree
opinion.
with him about this, Sean.
Yeah.
I mean, Manuela, pretty nice.
Manuela's had many opportunities in her life already.
True. She's
so
also
what we're talking about?
Very sloppy and doesn't clean a room and.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a lush. Still.
Yeah.
So what we're referring to, folks, is in Fire Emblem, is when you get to S rank for support, is there you pick one character that your main character can marry at the end of the game. And some people only go up to A rank, so those people you can be best buddies with, but can't really you can't marry them. However, if your other characters get up to A rank with each other, they could get married or have some sort of interaction at the end.
Yeah.
So I a little spoilery, but I did learn that apparently best big boy Raphael, does not really have any romantic endings.
No? Oh.
He does. It's just so that makes me sad because I was trying to set him up with Bernadetta, and then set up Ignatz with Marianne. And then just like the four of them just go on all sorts of adventures together because Ignatz and Raphael are best buds.
I know nothing about Marianne. Seems so.
I've heard the term cinnamon roll, and I don't know what that means in terms of
cinnamon
anime.
Roll. Oh, like a cutie pie, like adorable.
Oh, okay.
Like a very sweet, adorable person.
Okay. But yeah, her support conversations, like especially when you get to the last one after the time skip, super dark. Holy moly!
Who's?
Marianne.
Oh, I bet. I get it because she's always praying at the church. I'm like, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason she's always in there.
Looking forward to that.
Her and Bernadetta, thus far, yeah. This game, there's a lot of poor trauma.
Edelgard's is pretty rough too.
There's a lot of poor traumatized kids here in this school.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, I just don't know who I am. That's all. That's not that bad compared to some of these kids. Like, sure. I was best mercenary ever growing up that experienced no emotions. I mean, that's not that bad.
In comparison, sure, but your trauma is yours.
Actually, I'll say, I mean, as far as the trauma goes, Raphael and Ignatz weren't too bad. Raphael's was bad, but he seems to be handling it probably a bit too well than he should be.
Yeah, he's a pretty positive person.
Yeah.
Whereas Ignatz was the one taking
overcompensates
most of the brunt of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bernadetta's is pretty dark.
It's so awful.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah.
Why am I not surprised that Bernie's is dark?
So,
I love her so much. She's the best.
I am. So I'm after the time skip. I am at the point where, as we were talking, sort of during the pre-show and prior to the stream, because I'm playing on normal, and I'm playing on not classic. Like a lot of my characters are like close to level 40 at this point.
Wow.
And a lot of their relevant skills are at A rank or A plus rank. So I'm kind of just like steamrolling encounters where it's just like, it doesn't really matter who I throw at an enemy. They're just toast. I think the only person that like doesn't just one-shot people is Manuela trying to level up her black magic. Because it's her weakness.
Yeah.
But like anybody else, yeah, it's just an absolute slaughter in combat. So yeah, so I don't know if it's like I need to bring in like my B-listers to level them up, or if I just don't care. I mean, because I was able to recruit Sedith, Flane, obviously, because she just joins as part of the story. Catherine, Shamir, and Hanuman. And like that was it. That's everybody that I have outside of.
I made Flane my dancer, actually.
Oh, that's an interesting choice.
Yep.
She gets rescue's a pretty nifty spell that she gets, and she's the only person that gets it apparently.
She doesn't have physic though, which is a bit of a pain.
That is rough.
Yeah. Yeah, my only person I only have one person on my team with physics, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk with you guys about like strategy once I get a little bit further.
Yeah. So basically, how learning magic works, Courtney, is So your skills go up by like letter grades, right?
Yep.
And no minuses, as we discussed.
Yes.
So at the standard levels is you learn a new spell if that character has a spell to learn, because not every character can learn every spell of that
Every
type.
character has
Okay.
like a different.
They have a
pool
different spell list that they learn.
Yeah.
And then at
Okay.
the plus ranks is you get like you increase your prowess level for your passive
Whatever.
ability.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which basically is defensively you get like bonus hit avoidance and something else when you're using that kind of magic. So yeah, it's a little weirder than other ones where it's like for the weapon based skills, you might get like a combat art every couple of levels kind of a thing.
Some classes. Well, this is jobs. What do we call them? Jobs or whatever.
Yeah, it would be jobs.
Some of them, when you master them, you get a combat art.
Yes.
For example,
Okay.
like Sword Master, you get a really powerful combat art when you.
Yeah, it
master
attacks
Sword Master.
5 times at 30% might.
Yeah.
And might is basically your like attacking damage stat, and it's
Yeah.
either so for physical attacks it's your strength, and then for magical attacks it's your magic, and then whatever modifiers get applied to it, that's your might.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so at 30% might, but you attack 5 times.
That's crit fishing, basically.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Because at least I know I'm stacking a lot of decks on my Sword Master to make him crit a lot.
Yep.
And then, one of the weird ones is Dancer. They have a combat art that their might is their charisma, or their charm, rather. Their sword dance ability is based on their charm. Not
Oh, that's
strength.
right. I keep forgetting that Dorothea has that, and I'm just like, no, use white magic. And I keep forgetting that she
I mostly
actually
do too, but I'm
do
like,
that.
I didn't use that at all last playthrough, so I'm like, I'm gonna just at least try it out this time.
Yeah.
It's
I
alright.
also gave her the magic sword, so that way she doesn't actually attack with her strength at all.
Oh, that's true. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, I've got to get better at just straight up. Like, I need to find that chart on that site that you had, Sean, for like how to motivate people better.
As far so here's what I found. So for motivating
Because
people,
also I don't have the like generic shop open, so like I can't buy like tea and stuff like that yet.
yeah, that doesn't
meals.
Yeah.
So Courtney, you have to do a battle mission to unlock those 2 merchants.
Okay.
So they don't start off available at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
you have to unlock them later.
I know. I need to unlock them.
Easiest ways are lost items. Which, like, if somebody's like fully motivated, I'll actually wait to give them their lost item until they lose motivation.
Yeah.
Meals, as Josh said, a meal will automatically totally fill their motivation bar. So like if somebody's for 2 people. Also of note is like they'll typically have like a special meal available. But if you already do that, like you can do multiple meals. So and do different people every time.
Because it's however many of those points that I have from the professor thingy is how many.
Yes.
I eat like
things
6
that
meals
I can
in a row.
do.
On my days off, I have like 6 meals with students on my explore days. Just to make
so
sure
typically
I don't have that many yet, and that's why I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
Because you guys have better focus than I do when it comes to games, and so like I'm not. I'm really.
I'm a mess when I'm exploring because I'm just like, oh my god, oh what am I doing? Oh wait, oh no, I gotta go talk to this person. Oh hey, look, there's a shiny item on the ground.
I'm very methodical. I'm like, I'm in this section now. I talked all these. I go to this section. I go to this section. I go to this section.
What I mean is,
oh no, fish. Okay, I'm gonna go over here.
Like I just cannot play for as long in one certain stretch as you guys can.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that's why I'm just like still working.
And actually, you know what? I think because of the fact that you could do like an explore session, and then like you could be in the explore session for like a half hour, 45 minutes or so, and then be like, okay, I'm done with this, and then you come back, and then like you do the teaching portion, and then like you go through that, and then it'll be like the next week, and then you could say like, all right, I'm going to save that for the next play session, and then do that teaching session, and basically do it in like little bite-sized chunks.
I usually do it in like every month is a like sit down session for me. Usually, that's about how I do it.
I've found myself needing a break after like 2 weeks. So like I just split the month in half is what I've been able to do. And usually like I go back and forth between a bunch of different things, but I can go back to it and keep working on it, and then
So
like,
another bit of advice is so if you don't mind doing the exploration, because I know I was looking on Reddit, and of course everybody's complaining on Reddit or whatever because they're just like,
what?
man, this isn't like the Fire Emblem game I wanted.
What are they complaining about? I love it.
What they wanted was like Final Fantasy Tactics, where there was no non-battle elements whatsoever.
Oh no.
But basically, rest and skip are garbage options. Don't do them.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
Every once in a while, you do a rest thingy, and it gives you something.
Well, so rest will restore durability for your special main character weapon.
Yeah.
You can still repair that at the blacksmith.
You can if you have
once
those materials.
You get that unlocked.
Yeah.
However, actually, now talking about motivation, apparently resting also increases every character's motivation to max.
Oh, does it? I didn't know that.
I guess so. So, you know, if you're just looking to motivate people and you don't really care about the exploration portion, you could rest. Personally, I would rather just explore again and just do that. Because you also don't get any professor points for resting.
True. Yeah. Every meal gives you a good amount of professor points too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
every time,
every
week you garden, you get professor points when you harvest.
Yep.
That's
good. Honestly, what I've been doing is explore battle. I think nowadays what I would have done is maybe not worried about buying stuff so much and not done so many auxiliary battles because I think I'm a bit over leveled and just on the minimum number of battles.
I usually do.
Because I
have one battle weekend per month usually. Sometimes it depends on if there's like a rare monster weekend that falls on a weird week.
Yeah.
But I usually spend most of my weekends doing explore to get everybody motivated and so that I can go around to all the different faculty and have them train me.
Yep.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And then I can do my gardening every week and whatever else I got to do.
Seminar.
But usually one weekend. I never do seminar. I did one actually today just because I had nothing else to do. It was just a weird week.
Seminar, it's weird because like you're not guaranteed to give people the skills that they need. And I mean it works. It works if you can get a seminar where you like all the people attending need that skill. Otherwise, you're better off just focusing on individual teaching.
Your regular instruction is better.
Yeah.
You get more out of it.
And don't neglect authority. I'm taking Josh's advice on that one. And that's basically like everybody's focusing on authority right now because like I've got like almost everybody's a master class now, so I'm like I don't need any other skills.
Just because some of the better battalions like that have good AoE, you need to have a high authority rank to be able to use them. For me, I found this out somewhat the hard way towards the end of my first playthrough, where it was like to fight monsters, you basically use battalions to break their shields. And those big AoE ones are good at doing it in 1 or 2 shots.
Yep.
And it's just like the last couple battles, there were a mix of soldiers and monsters. And it was just like, I didn't have good enough battalions to make it. Would have been a lot easier. I was able to do it, but it just would have been a little simpler if I had better battalions. So this playthrough, I'm like, everyone's going to have A rank authority so they can use the best battalions by the end. And I know that'll make it easier for me. And also in New Game Plus, it's way easier to do all this anyways, because you just start off so strong.
Yeah.
Because I started off as an A+ ranked teacher right off the bat because I could.
Oh, that's right, because you're teaching things.
Well, it's no. So your professor level resets, but you get renown points, and so you can spend those just increase your professor level right off the bat.
And that's the first thing I did in my playthrough. Like, I'm making sure that way I have my full points for days off. I can do everything. I can do 3 battles on a day off if I want to right away. So it's just like made everything way easier right off the bat.
Also, make sure you do all your quests.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that'll give you renown points to fix up those statues.
Yes, I've been doing any quest that comes along. I've been double checking bulletin board, making sure that's all done.
And then you will never. There's always enough time to do all the quests. I've never ran into a situation where there wasn't enough time to do.
Yeah.
All the battle quests or all the paralogs or anything, because you'll see paralog battles start popping up. They'll have you got to finish it by this date, and it's not always in that month. It might be like,
Sean, they usually give you like 3 months or something.
You might have a couple months to do it.
Yeah, Sean was showing me
keep up on them, but just know you should have enough time to do all of them.
Because you get really great rewards. As we all saw on stream when I got that staff that gives like range +2 with magic.
Same happened in mine. Like a couple people got like legendary. I was like, oh man, wow.
Yeah.
And if you complete all the goals for the mission, you usually get an extra large bullion, which is worth 10 grand.
Yep.
Oh,
which in and of itself is really nice.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. No, Sean showed me those when I was Saturday. Was it Saturday?
I believe it was Saturday. Yes.
Yeah,
and
Saturday.
The paralogs are all basically story missions for all the the students. So it's nice you learn a little more back. Like because I recruited Raphael, I got the Raphael Ignatz one, and that was an interesting. Because I didn't know much about the story other than what you told me. I'm like, oh, that's a really interesting backstory for those two.
Yeah, that was actually a very interesting story arc that was associated with that one. Yeah, I dug that.
That's something that I really, really like is that like the battles and stuff. I absolutely love for battling and how it's like it's very straightforward of this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because I just had one of the battle. It's again, you guys know I'm very early. But when you first have to go and defeat the guys that were raiding the monastery, and you have to like basically get the one big bad, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm not worrying about any of these side troops. No, I'm just going straight for him.
Oh, I always clean up side troops.
I do too, for all the extra experience. I do too. Yep. I clear out the whole level every time.
So, because Courtney, when you attack a unit, or whether your unit is attacked or whatever, so there's like different kinds of experience that you get. There's character experience, which affects your level, and then when you level up, you get bonus stats and everything. There's your skill experience, which whenever you use
all your weapon skills,
whenever you use that particular skill, and then there's other weird cases. So like if you use a sword to attack, you get sword experience. If you use white magic to heal, you get white magic experience.
So for each of those things that you would level up during lesson,
the point is the more you do that stuff, the more that levels up. So it does behoove you to clear out as many troops as possible, because that's more uses to level up your other stuff.
I was
and your
going
job
to clear the entire board, but I had students dying left and right. So it was a matter of do I finish or you know, because I had 3 students die.
Well, also of note, in that case, remember that you also have time rewind.
Yeah, divine pulse.
Yeah, it was.
And you only get so many uses.
I'd already.
You can divine pulse all the way back to the start of the fight if you want to. It doesn't just go back like one turn. Like you can.
One thing to note.
So wherever you want in the battle.
Though
this is why I love this with you guys.
One thing to note is apparently, like if you take the same actions and everything, it records whether attacks hit or miss, and applies that. You
so
can change that.
Do the same thing.
Yeah, if you do the exact same things, you'll get the exact same outcome.
You get the exact same outcomes.
Just because it said a 40% chance, that other 60% won't happen.
Supposedly,
so it's not like if you don't hit a crit, you can't like try it again to hit a crit.
It's gonna give you the same exact
It's
result.
going to give you the
Yeah.
same result. Okay,
However,
good to know.
if you change up what you do, it
Mhm.
will change the result and then essentially, affect the future. So like,
Yeah.
let's say that you were trying to do like a last ditch effort and like attack this guy and like, oh, if I hit him, like I have a low chance to hit, but if I hit him,
But if I hit him, he's
it'll
done.
kill him. But if I miss,
Yeah.
then he hits me and I'm done.
Mhm.
And then it turns out you miss and then you die. So you go back and redo it. If you then decide to use a combat art, it'll
Yeah.
re-roll all the hit chances and everything.
Okay.
You can't just do the same exact thing.
Yeah, you have to do
Correct.
something. If you're going to try it again, you have to try something different.
And
Yep.
and typically what you'll end
Basically.
up doing to fix a bad future is move people differently. That's
That's
100%.
just
100%
movement.
to correct bad positioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually
So.
moving somebody else to draw the aggro instead of
Yeah, that's
somebody
kind of
else.
what I noticed is
So
I
that's a-
have to get better at my positioning.
So here's a trick that I use. If you hit in the battle, if you hit the RZ button, the right trigger,
Mhm.
it'll cover all the blocks in purple on the
Mhm.
ground that are like dangerous spots, like
It'll
where
show
you can get
you
attacked from.
the danger zone.
Yeah, it'll just like
Oh, so it'll
it'll
show me like a spot that if I go there,
Well,
I
most
will
of
get
your map in the
aggro.
beginning of a fight will be purple because it's like all the different. Just anywhere that anything can move or attack you will
Mhm.
be a purple space.
See,
So
Sean, I knew that was purple.
a lot of times, it's like, okay, I'm gonna put my tanky guy right on the edge on the first purple block, and you'll see
Yep.
all the red lines of all the enemies that are gonna attack him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know he can handle it. That's fine, but he'll draw all those guys to him first, and then like I'll have all of the rest set up near him outside of
Yep.
attack range, and then he absorbs all that, and then okay, the rest of the team rushes in and clears
Yeah.
it out.
The other
See,
thing to
Sean, I
note.
knew there was purple. You told me that it
So
was the
you know
blue
what? Now that we're
right over
talking about it, now I understand what you were referring to because I was just like,
Yeah.
there's no purple. I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, so if it's the danger area overlaps your movement, yeah, it's purple.
Okay.
Because danger zone is red, and then your movement is
Yep.
purple.
And your movement is
It's
blue,
just
so blue.
well,
and
your
red.
movement is blue, but again, it just will show a solid purple anywhere on the
Okay.
map that you can get
Yeah.
attacked.
Yeah, so typically you want to
If
take
you
a
hit
high
the
defense.
right trigger. I keep it on in every fight. It's
Okay.
like the most useful thing for me for my positioning.
Yeah,
you
that's
typically want to
something
take
that I'll have to keep in mind.
a defensive character and march them right into the danger zone.
And my strategy is I generally play a more, I guess, defensive style rather than just like having my whole team rush in. I usually
Full
try
on
to
offense.
draw their troops towards me and
Yeah.
make them move to where I want them to be rather than like
Yeah.
because you're
You
not
make
always
them
even
position.
it's kind of hard when you charge in and because then you're like, oh, that was a bad move and you're trying
Yep.
to recorrect that. If you can
Yeah.
pull them towards you, you have a little more control over the battlefield. Some fights don't let you do that. Some fights have built-in, like particularly, I'll say the last fight in the Black Eagle campaign. It's like, no, you have a clock ticking down because all the enemies are getting more powerful every 2 rounds. You just wait around.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, you do have to push forward on. So there are some fights like that, but
Yeah,
you'll
that was the other thing though. Seeing that there was round limit on
yeah. Sometimes
on
there's
some
Yeah,
of them.
certain battles.
10
Yeah.
rounds to do
Yeah.
what you gotta do.
Finished
So
in
what
3.
made you pick? You went Blue Lions. What made you pick Blue
Yeah.
Lions over the other two? Over the
Yes.
Best House Black Eagles.
Or Best House Golden Deer.
What was it about the Blue Lions?
A little bit was the fact that both of you were playing the other two houses.
Okay, that's fair. That's
Like
fair.
to be very honest, a lot
That's
of it
something
has,
I would do too. I would play
Yep.
differently.
And then Sean told me a little bit about the backstories, and I wanted to, get some more on those. Hearing the backstory, I'm like, oh,
I'm playing Blue Lions right now in my second playthrough.
yeah.
And I actually
I'm really liking it.
I am actually really enjoying them too. When my first
Yeah.
playthrough when I was playing Black Eagles, I was like, these other houses suck. They're so boring. They can never be as interesting or as adorable, as awesome as my class.
Yeah. Black
then-
Eagle's secret route is 100% the Josh York route.
Oh yeah, it is 100%. 100%.
And I didn't know what you meant
I
by
assume
like
you see it at the time skip from the Golden Deer's perspective. What
uh
Edelgard does,
yes.
my guess. It's
Yeah.
a little bit different from the Black Eagle perspective. It doesn't quite play out like it does because I assume it's almost the same. The Blue Lion and the Golden Deer perspective of that, the whole Edelgard thing. But yeah, basically, church
I mean,
bad.
let's put it this way: there really isn't a lot of backstory to what she does, besides the fact that she
Unless you,
shows up.
yeah, unless
And
you play the Black Eagles and you're like,
yeah,
oh, I get it. I see why she's doing this, and it, of course, and Josh, you're, yes, of course, I'm all in.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so yeah, like, who's your favorite Blue Eagle? Who do you like? What characters do you like in Blue Eagle? I'm always interested to see what characters people
Mm-hmm.
are into.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Dimitri and his bodyguard.
Dedu, I like Dedu a lot.
Yeah, I really like him. And then the little mousy one that's always in the library.
The redhead,
No,
Annette,
he's a blonde.
gray hair, Ash.
Yeah,
I say there's no other blonde guy. Ash, I
yeah,
hate
it's
He
Ash.
blonde. Yeah.
he gets lockpicking for free.
I know,
It was like, why did I recruit him?
I know.
It was like, then
Yeah,
Ignatz wouldn't have to
but
just be assassin until the end of his days.
I don't.
and
Ash
then
just bores me for whatever reason.
no, and then there's the tall, lanky one with black hair up in a bun. Like
Felix.
I like him too.
Felix,
I like him too.
really?
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
Jacobin.
oh, he is 100% Jacobin.
He's just Jacobin.
Maybe that's why.
He annoys me just because he's such a jerk.
Yeah.
Like too much of a jerk. Like all the time. It just for no reason a lot of like to his dad too. He's just like he's just a jerk to everyone.
Yeah. It makes me wonder if he like completely turns around with his support conversations.
And then like he's super rude to Dimitri all the time. He's like, Dimitri, you're just a wild beast. I know you. I know what you really are. Turns out he's kind of right. He's kind of right. He's kind of got a point. When you hit the time skip, you're like, oh, whoa, Felix was a little spot on that.
But no, I like those are the students that I like.
Who's my favorite blue line? I really like Annette a lot, the little redhead girl who's your
Yeah,
mage. I think her and Mercedes' friendship is friggin' adorable
her
because
and
they're
Mercedes are
best
just
friends.
adorable together.
Because they
I
just
feel
like, oh, let's just bake sweets for everybody.
Yeah, no, they're
Oh,
just.
let's convince Ingrid to start using makeup and let's teach her how to do
I
it.
know. I thought that was so. Oh
And
man,
Ingrid's just like,
I saw that support one.
okay.
I saw that support one. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is adorable. She's like, wait a second, no. I didn't say I'd put that on my face. I said, I think about. No. Well, now I don't want the makeup to go to waste. Well, I guess we're doing this. Like that's I loved it. I thought it was so adorable.
Nice. Josh,
And just
who are your favorite Black Eagles? Aside from
gee.
Bernadetta, because we talked about her at length.
Yeah, Bernie's just
I
my
mean,
favorite because
Bernie.
she's me. I just want to sit in my room all day and not talk to
Mine,
anybody.
minus the horrible trauma
Minus
that
the
precipitated that.
horrible trauma. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel her mood a lot.
Mhm. Only
Man,
comes
I
out for
really
Kate.
love all the Black Eagles. Hubert is a little creepy, but I get it. Edelgard actually she's kind of boring, really, compared to. I mean, Dorothea, she's great. I love Dorothea.
Mm-hmm.
She's super great. Caspar, who really annoyed me at first, but really grew on me a lot. Same with Ferdinand. I thought Ferdinand was a douche for the longest time, and then like I get it. He's very similar to Lorenz, I think, in that like the whole nobles need to like look out for everybody type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they have a bit of a similar outlook.
Yeah.
Yeah, just who else? Oh, Petra, best girl, of course.
Oh,
Petra, best girl.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm having gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love her attempts to try to speak the language, and I like her whole backstory of she's basically a hostage being held by the Empire.
Yep.
Oh, spoiler, sorry. That's not that big of a spoiler. But she's
Are you saying
basically,
sorry to me? We've already
yeah.
discussed this. I
It's
know.
So yeah,
it's kind of
Petra's whole
implied.
deal is like the Empire defeated this other kingdom that's like on an island a little to the
Yeah.
west,
Mhm.
and like the Theon Greyjoy thing. They're just
Yeah.
holding
Okay, I
her.
understand that.
Yeah, they're
actually.
holding her like in the Empire just as basically a hostage, but they're still like sending her to the academy and all this stuff because she's the granddaughter of the king of those islands. Who else is
Oh,
on the
okay.
Black Eagles? Who am I missing?
I don't know.
Can't remember.
Can't really be worth remembering then.
I can't remember.
Mm.
Oh, like this, my new playthrough. I picked up a bunch of the side characters. I didn't like Cyril. I didn't give a crap about Cyril the first
Yeah.
playthrough because he was on Rhea's side. I'm like, no, you little jerk. I don't. If you're with Rhea, I don't want anything to do with you. And but then this playthrough, I'm like, well, I want to know why. I want to understand his story and why he's so dedicated to her and like what his deal is.
Mhm.
And I always feel so bad. So sometimes when you go to like the note thing, like notes from the kids on like their
Yep.
problems, you'll
Oh,
get
yeah.
one that's like, oh, it's a crude drawing of a looks like someone knocking over a vase,
Oh,
and it's
yeah. We had that one
Cyril.
the other night.
And like the first time I'm like, oh, and then I got another one that was like that. I was like, he can't write, can he? And I was like, he must not be able to write. And like that's the only reason he's drawing these like crude little kid things. And I was like, oh my god, I feel because I worked with a lot of kids in the lower range of academics throughout my life, and I was like, oh my god, I feel real bad for him. I want to know like why he came to this place and why Rhea took him in and what his whole deal is. So I'm trying, and then like Catherine, the Thunderbolt, whatever knight,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
the
like her.
the MILF knight, I'm gonna call her. Uh,
Rated E for everyone.
No, I really, really
uh,
like.
I
Oh
didn't
my
obviously I didn't have
gosh.
her. I'm like I want to know what her deal was. She's got a connection to the kingdom apparently because I
Mm-hmm.
saw some conversation with her and Dimitri. I was like, oh okay. I kind of want to know what her deal is. Oh, Shamir. I had Shamir in my first playthrough. She was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of like a mercenary, but that's I mean for me it's just all the characters and getting to know them and their stories is like it's a lot of the game. So for me that's the battles are the battles, and yeah, I like the strategy and thinking out my moves, and it feels satisfying when it plays out right and it goes the way you wanted it to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like half the game. The other half I just am really interested in learning about the characters and their connections. Dimitri
That's
and
why I love the
Aelgard
game.
have a really interesting connection that blew my mind. Yeah, I was like, what? Do you know
Mhm.
about it, Sean?
No, but
Okay.
I can think of a million things that it could be.
I was just like,
I
whoa,
have my Switch ready to go for at work tonight.
I
Yep.
just
So,
wasn't.
like, I'm getting ready,
Well,
and
it was interesting because or unless I just wasn't paying attention, it never came up with Adelgard. She never mentioned it. And then Dimitri says, I'm like, what? How did I
like,
just
wait,
do a whole
that's a thing.
playthrough with her and not
Yeah.
know this?
Maybe she didn't do nothing wrong.
I mean, she didn't do anything wrong. In her playthrough, she didn't do anything wrong.
That's like, Josh seems to say this about many questionable leaders.
What I want to know is, I'm curious, what is the canon ending? What is the canon path? I'm
clearly, clearly, Golden Deer.
No, it's like Clue. There is no one. It depends on what you've done.
Because Golden Deer is apparently the most optimistic ending.
Is it?
Claude is apparently the one with the best intentions.
Edelgard's intentions are pretty good. It just involves a lot of murder on the way to get there.
Claude refuses to do the murdering part. But he wants everybody to just get along.
And right
Aw,
now,
isn't that precious?
I apparently picked
Totally
Hufflepuff House, and I'm totally fine with that.
unrealistic.
Dimitri right now is basically like, I'm gonna kill everyone. That's basically what the first thing he says after the time skip. Like,
Punisher.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You went from being like goody good boy to, oh, Felix was right about you.
Congratulations. Your leader is now Zul'jin.
You are Arthas. You are Arthas.
Nah, no, he's Zul'jin. They took his eye, and now he's back for vengeance against his
That's
former
true.
allies.
Yeah,
You
I'm
are the
intrigued
forest
to see how
trolls.
this. I will say I am like super hyped. I'm super hyped to play tonight. So
Such a good game.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like I said, I've got close to 80 hours.
I'm able to do a little bit more per sit down than I'm able to do like when I play like Final Fantasy X. Like, and I think a lot of that comes from the difference in what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the battles are very different than the resting and the teaching, and I mean the exploring and the teaching and all of that. So like I really feel like I'm able to, I need 20-minute half-hour break in between my sessions, but
Yeah.
it's not like I need to stop for the night. Like, because I've had that with different games where I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
need to stop for the night and pick back up and stuff like that. But that's not happening with this game, which I'm loving.
Nice.
So yeah.
So,
Yeah.
final bit of advice for you, Courtney, and for our viewers out there. If you're playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, apparently iron weapons are just straight up better than steel weapons, despite the fact that steel weapons are the next one up because steel weapons weigh more, which reduces your speed.
Oh.
Which iron weapons are more likely to let you have an extra attack, basically.
Okay.
So for your slow characters, give them steel weapons, but for most of your fast characters, just leave them with iron weapons. They're cheap to manufacture, and you don't care if they break because you just find boatloads of them.
And they're cheap to buy.
Yeah, they're cheap to buy. So until you get super cool, unique stuff or brave weaponry,
Silver, even silver.
Nice.
Even when I got to brave weapons, I was still using my upgraded silvers
most
of the time.
Silvers are pretty good. It's just specifically the weight jump from iron to steel is enough that it often means that you actually lose out on an extra attack unless you're super cool like Ignots.
And a lot of times it was just like, yeah, I'm going to use my silver plus just because I want to save my my brave weapons because they're not easy to repair.
Yep.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah. Well, folks.
Good to know. I will definitely keep that all in mind.
Yeah. That is going to wrap up this episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. If you would like to see more content from 8-Bit Adventures, be sure to check out the website at 8-bitadventures.com. Over there, you can find streams, podcasts, comics, artwork, and other stuff.
Oh.
I can't remember. There's one more thing. I can't remember what it is, but there's one more thing. One more thing.
One thing more.
If you would like to help support that content, please consider either using a Twitch Prime sub. So if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch Prime sub here on Twitch.
Yay.
So please consider doing that. Remember that has to be manually renewed because it's dumb. Or you can become a patron at patreon.com/8bitadventures, where you can get access to cool things like the Speedy and Monty comic, which is a weekly one panel comic that I do each week about my dog and my little turtle buddy. That is only available to patrons, and you can become a patron for as little as $1 a month.
And that auto renews.
That does auto renew. So unless your card gets declined, but our opening theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his awesome, fantastic work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com.
Yeah.
And with that, we are finished, and we're all going to go play Fire Emblem. So,
pretty much.
Have fun, everyone.
Well, I will when I get to work.
Happy gaming, and enjoy your pie cake.
Bye, everybody.
Purge the village. It's too late.